Hiya! Welcome back to Farm Girl Diaries. Today I have you guys in the kitchen and we're going to be making a new recipe. I've never tried it, but I thought I'd turn on the camera and we would make it together. And what I'm really excited about is the different possibilities that we can do with what we're gonna make. So for my work lunches, I love Jimmy Dean. They have a egg, you can get like egg, bacon and cheese, or egg, ham and cheese, or just egg and cheese. Like biscuit roll up. So it's a little biscuit and it has egg, cheese, and then a meat of your choice inside the biscuit. And I love them for breakfast. I eat two. They're kind of small, like that big. I eat two and they last me till lunch. I feel like I'm eating a legit breakfast. I'm not a breakfast person also. It's rare that I actually like these. But they are kind of expensive, and with everything going up just because of what's going on in the world right now, I think they went up a little bit more, but I expect everything to go up. So I'm constantly trying to find ways to make something that I like to buy at the store, make it myself. So these are in the freezer section of the grocery store. So I'm like, why can't I make these myself, freeze a batch, and then pull them out as needed? So that's what we're gonna do today. So what I really like with this recipe, and it's not a recipe, I'm winging it as I go. But what I like about the concept of this is we can really change it up based on whatever we want to put in it. You know what I mean? So we can do the bacon, the sausage, or the ham. Or I was thinking we could do cowboy candy in it, add a nice little bit of spice in the morning. You could add some of your homegrown onions and peppers. We can add our onion jam. We can add a whole bunch of different things. I think the possibilities here are kind of endless. And I really like the flexibility of that. I really do love the idea of putting cowboy candy in it. I'm not gonna do that this time. I just wanna see if I can get them right the first time around. But I like the idea of putting cowboy candy or putting an onion jam in it. I think that would be delicious. So we are going to test this out and see how this works. So for my eggs, I'm just gonna scramble a whole bunch of eggs. I am gonna show you how I do that. But then for my biscuits, we're gonna use JoJo's biscuits. I have a love-hate relationship with JoJo's biscuits. They are delicious. But they call for a lot of butter. And in no world are these biscuits waste-friendly, budget-friendly. Like, these biscuits are the epitome of delicious biscuits that are going to put some fat on your thighs. And I don't need any more fat on my thighs. But I have tried to make lighter biscuits and I've not found anything that's as good. You need all the butter in this recipe to make that flakiness that we all love in biscuits. So we're gonna go with JoJo. JoJo knows best. So if you don't know who JoJo is, it's Joanna Gaines. I have her Magnolia Table Cookbook. So we're gonna be using those biscuits and we're gonna make everything and kind of try to assemble and bake, and we're gonna see how it goes. So I am just gonna get some scrambled eggs started in my pan. So I did 8 eggs. That's all I had in my carton, and I have more outside in the garage. I just don't feel like going there yet. And I don't know how many I need. So we're gonna start with 8 eggs. And I like a little bit of hot sauce. So I'm using some of my homemade Tabasco. I'm going to use a little bit of milk. If you are new here, I like to use evaporated milk because I never have fresh milk on hand. And evaporated milk is perfect for dishes like these. And then just a little bit of salt. A little bit of salt and a little bit of pepper. So I want to get these guys going first because I'm going to get them cooked and allow them to cool before we need to put them into the biscuit dough. So let's give this guy a whisk. I have a fork. Now again, you can add anything here. You can add any vegetables you want. Asparagus, mushrooms, broccoli, peppers, onions. We're just gonna stick with the basics for now, but anything would be delicious. So let's get this on the stove. So while that is scrambling, we're gonna start our biscuit dough. If you're not doing it already, save your eggshells. I have just a jar on my counter that I dump my eggshells into, and the garden loves these. So whenever I plant my plants, I always put a little bit of compost in the hole, but I always put some eggshells in the hole with it. This is a great source of calcium, and my plants do really well with the extra boost of calcium. Now we're gonna make our biscuits, and we're gonna make from Joanna Gaines' Magnolia Cookbook They're literally called JoJo's biscuits, and they are delicious. So we're gonna make them. I'm gonna make mine in my food processor. I have a brand new KitchenAid food processor, and I love it. So I'm gonna be using the food processor, and this food processor comes with a dough blade, and this is really great for making doughs. I made a couple different doughs in here already, and it's really great for making doughs. Okay, so to my bowl, I'm going to do 4 cups of flour. So I'm already having thoughts about putting, like, you could put bacon in this biscuit dough, you could put Talbot candy in the biscuit dough, you could bake cheese, you could bake things into the biscuit dough to make these roll-ups so much better than anything you can get in the store. So I just love the versatility of this. So we need 4 cups of our flour, 2 tablespoons of baking powder. Doing them a little shy. 1 teaspoon of baking soda. I was a little shy. So, a little bit more. And then I just want to give this a quick mix. Perfect. Now I want to add 3 sticks of cubed or grated butter. I'm just going to cube it. And the trick here is you want your butter to be ice cold. Now slowly I'm going to add the butter to my food processor, and we're just going to get it all blended up until my flour mixture is about the size of peas and the butter's been nice and blended. Okay, to this, I'm going to add 2 beaten eggs. Actually, I'm going to do it at the time it's going. And then it calls for 1/2 cup of buttermilk, but I still have a can of milk. So I'm just going to slowly drizzle this milk in until we get a nice, sticky, wet dough. Okay, I think it's about ready. I'm gonna get it out and put it into a bigger bowl and make sure it's all nice and incorporated. So the key to a good biscuit is cold butter. So when we put the biscuit in the oven, as that butter melts, it creates this little flaky patch, and it ends up creating just this big flaky biscuit. So the butter has kind of come to room temperature by now with all the mixing we've done and me kind of hand mixing it together. But we have a cute little dough. So I'm going to put this in the fridge for half an hour to get cold again, and then we're going to actually roll up our biscuits. My eggs are off the stove. They are cooling, or off their burner. They're cooling. I actually cooked them a little bit underdone just because I didn't want them to get too hard in the oven. I don't like when eggs are overcooked, so I wanted to make sure they didn't get overcooked. So I left them a little runny, and I think that'll get their finished bacon in the oven as we bake these guys. So I put this in the fridge for half an hour, and that's going to give me plenty of time to get this whole big mess cleared up. Okay, it has been half an hour since I put this guy in the fridge. He's nice and cold. So now we're gonna see how well this works. So I just want to get him rolled out a little bit. And instead of doing a traditional biscuit, I think I'm gonna try to cut it in squares. So let's see how this goes. Okay, I rolled it out about 1/4 inch thick, and I think as that puffs up, I think that'll be good. So I think what I'm gonna try to do is I'm gonna try to cut this into squares. I guess I don't really have like, it would be easier if I had like it actually in a rectangle. I can never get my dough to go in a rectangle. It's always just in crazy different ways. Okay, we're just gonna go with it. I'm just gonna start cutting and rolling. So I'm gonna be using a American cheese as my cheese. I prefer American over cheddar just because I think this melts nicer. But you can use whatever kind of cheese you want. So I'm just gonna get a little bit of egg. And then a nice, we like a lot of cheese, so a little bit of cheese. And I'm just gonna roll it up. Just like that. I'll put them on a baking sheet and keep going. Oops. I just put an egg wash mixture on our biscuits and a little bit of sea salt. I'm gonna get ready to throw them in the oven. We're gonna bake them at 400 degrees for 15 to 20 minutes. And around the 15-minute mark, I'm just gonna start checking to see how they look. I want them to get nice and golden, but not too brown. For the first time, they don't look terrible. This was my first one. I do have some egg and cheese sticking out. But by the end, they were getting a little big. But I think that'll be fine. So like normally the Jimmy Dean's ones are like about this size. This is a perfect, I think, representation of a Jimmy Dean one. So I do think these nice longer ones will be one breakfast instead of having to eat 2 of these for a breakfast. So we'll see. But by the end, I was getting a little better. They're still not very pretty, but as long as they're edible, that's all that counts, right? So let me throw this in the oven and I'll bring you back when they come out. Definitely where these guys were rolled longer or rolled more than my beginning ones, because that one's pretty bad. They look good. I'm gonna wait for them to cool, and then I think I'm gonna eat this little guy and see what he tastes like. Okay, let's give this guy a taste. It is a little hot, but I'm excited. Yes. Yes. This is exactly like the Jimmy Dean's. I do think I forgot to put salt in the biscuit dough. I'm now thinking I didn't put any salt in the biscuit dough, and I think that's evident. It does need salt. So make sure you actually read JoJo's recipe right. But it is really good. And whenever I eat this, I eat it with some sriracha mayo. I had this at work. I do make this myself, but I just had, there's a glare. I just had this one left at work. So I brought it home. I'm going to use this up before I make some more. But guys, this is good. This is really good. You can't really see, There definitely is egg and cheese. It's all melty. Yes. This is how 100% I'm gonna be eating these from now on. It's good. It's really good. I highly recommend this. And then what I'm gonna do with these is I'm gonna leave some out. Just like I'm gonna put them in the fridge. But I am gonna freeze some of them. And that's how I buy them at Jimmy Dean's. Or I buy them at the grocery store. They're frozen. So I think these are gonna be just fine. Just freeze them and then pop in the microwave when you want to eat them. One batch of biscuits made 7 long biscuits, or 7 long egg rolls, and 5 short ones. And I used 7 eggs altogether. So I don't think that's too bad. And once you kind of get used to knowing how to roll the biscuits and like rolling out the biscuit dough in like a rectangle and not just all over the place like me, I think you'll be off to a better start. But I think these are really, really good. And so far, just from this one alone, the biscuit to egg ratio is really good. Like, I have no complaints with these. I didn't turn them over in the oven either. I just baked them without turning them. And again, I was concerned that was going to be an issue, but it's not. So I think these are a winner. And I'm excited to see what all we can stuff in these for fun breakfasts, but also could we go further and do like different kinds of lunches in these, because who doesn't love biscuits? So I'm a huge fan of these. So if you need some new breakfast ideas, definitely give these a try. These are delicious. That's it for now. I will see you guys on the next video.